She was a single mother, providing for herself and her son. She did not get the compensation like she should be for child support because that person wasn't paying it on time. I think I'm built for first-time home buyers. I didn't get in this business focused on first-time home buyers. I just think that I have slowly built a business around caring about how you make people feel. And I don't think enough of us, maybe not just in my profession or maybe in other professions too, really care about how you make people feel. And so there's a great quote, it's on the door to my office by Maya Angelou. It says, people will never remember what you said, people will never remember what you did, but people will remember how you made them feel. And that narrative has really served me well over the last 25 years because I care about how people feel. And so there's a lot of stress and there's a lot of uncertainty around buying your first home. You've never done it before. You're looking up online, you're asking Chat and Gemini and Siri and Claude and all these things what's best, and you're getting information overload. Your uncle has information, your coworker has information, your neighbor, everybody's telling you what you should and shouldn't do, and it's hard to really know where to go. But if you're ready, which is a decision that you make, and you're ready to make a choice to be a homeowner, I don't think you'll find a better lender than me. I really pride myself on doing what I say I'm going to do and making sure everything happens the way we said. So let me tell you about a story about a single mother who wanted to buy a home. And of course, she was payment conscious. She had been talking to me for probably about a year. She had a home that she sold a year ago and she made some money, but she wasn't that successful with that mortgage payment. She had actually paid it late a few times. And in fact, it was past due when she sold her house. And so I knew that she was gonna have to wait a full year before she would be eligible to be able to buy. You see, all the agency loan programs, they basically say, hey, if you have any mortgage lates in the most recent 12 months, you're not gonna be approved for another one because we sell mortgages. We're looking to see how did you pay your last mortgage before we give you another one. So we had to wait until about March of this year before she would even be eligible to buy again. So we had been having conversations about payments and funds to close, and it was like, hey, don't worry about any of the houses that you can see on the market right now because none of those houses are gonna be eligible for you to buy when you become ready. And so once March got here, she'd been texting me, checking up, what do I need to do? How do I need to fix my credit? And I was like, it's not your credit score. It's just the eligibility piece that you need to sit in timeout, sit on the sidelines for a year. So we had a narrative about what price point we needed to be at, and we had a narrative about what our funds to close needed to be. So we knew exactly how we wanted to structure our offer. Once March came by, I pulled her credit, I ran it through the electronic approval. We had an approved eligible, which basically means the systems looked at your income, your assets, your credit, and your debt, and you're good. We had to have an electronic approval because she did not have manual credit guidelines. She didn't meet the acceptable credit guidelines because she did have lates in her mortgage between 12 and 24 months ago. So if this loan flipped from an electronic approval into a manual, it would be a denied loan. So I talked to her about this and I said, hey, we have to have a certain amount of seller contributions in order for you to have reserves in order to keep this approval. She was a single mother, providing for herself and her son. She did not get the compensation like she should be for child support because that person wasn't paying it on time. So it was just really tight on the ratios. So we knew the payment was really important, but more importantly, that electronic approval that I had, it was fragile. It had to fit exactly the way that we structured it or the deal wasn't gonna work. I've worked with the realtor. He got us full 6% seller contributions on this FHA loan, so we were able to get all the closing costs paid for, right? And we had to get that payment where we needed. I don't know if y'all know this, but in Texas, there's a homestead exemption on your primary residence, which is actually a pretty significant exemption. It pulls about $140,000 off of the assessed value. So when you're paying property taxes, you don't pay taxes on a $200,000 house. If you got a homestead, you'll pay taxes on about a $60,000 house just for the school tax. Now the school tax is the biggest taxing authority for the county. Some of the other county authorities like fire and road and hospital and the library, like there's all kinds of taxing authorities. They'll give you a little bit of money too. But the biggest one and most important one is the school. So we applied the homestead exemption. We qualified her with that exemption. We actually closed the loan with the exemption. So we got her payment inside her budget where she needed to be. And we also got her funds to close right at 10 grand. We had a little bit of a problem at the very end because this house didn't appraise for the sales price. See, we were pushing this value because we knew we needed seller contributions to get all the closing costs paid for, and we needed those seller contributions to get a low buy down on the interest rate. When that house didn't appraise, we actually had to go in and redo the amendment, lower the sales price, but then more importantly, we had to adjust the seller contributions because we were over the limit. They call that interested party contribution. We were over that limit. I worked with the buyer's agent to tell them how exactly it needed to be worded on the amendment, got that done. So a little bit of a pivot at the end, but this was a really great story for her because she'd been working on this for a year, right? Remember, she sold her house a year ago and she's been wanting to buy another house. And so she's been sitting on the sidelines waiting for her eligibility to happen. Once that happened, her agent went and found her a house. She went through probably 5 or 6 different houses trying to find the right one, getting them to pass the inspection, making sure that it was going to fit her needs with her family, got the right house, got it appraised, got the interest rate and the payment. At closing, the funds to close were exactly perfect. She put in her minimum investment, which is right around the $10,000 she was trying to spend, and she was able to become a homeowner again. And getting phone calls and texts about how happy she is and winning a new relationship with a realtor partner is really what fuels me. But the biggest piece is how we made her feel. I know that she is happy again. She's in a safe spot. She's not renting. She's providing for her and her son. And it gives me a lot of joy knowing that we were able to do exactly what we said we were going to do and be confident that the payment and the funds to close were going to line up with exactly the strategy that we have talked about so many months before. So if you're interested in learning more about home ownership, if you need to work with a lender that is committed to doing exactly what they say they're going to do, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below, and I'll be back to help you on your next home.